Hello, you're tuning into Đồng Nai radio and television station. Coming first with local news. According to official letter 7352 on the prevention and control of COVID-19 epidemic in Đồng Nai province, from July the 5th, people from Ho Chi Minh City, Bình Dương province to Đồng Nai province have tested negative for SARS-CoV-2 within 7 days since their test results. Exactly 0 o'clock on July the 5th, all COVID-19 control points in Đồng Nai drastically carry out inspection and ensure epidemic prevention and control. The control tower on Highway 1 has a very large traffic volume, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. with hundreds of people from Ho Chi Minh City and neighboring provinces of Đồng Nai passing. Most of them coordinate well with the functional forces on duty here. However, many people are forced to turn around at the traffic checkpoints because they do not have a license tested for SARS-CoV-2. It is very difficult to control 100% of the traffic. However, this is a measure to strictly control the risk of disease transmission from other localities when Đồng Nai has had 100 infections, all related to outbreaks in Ho Chi Minh City and Bình Dương province. The Prime Minister has issued Directive 16 on ensuring decent jobs, raising living standards and improving working conditions for workers. In particular, the Prime Minister requested the Ministry of Labour, Work and Balance and Social Affairs to urgently complete and submit to competent authorities for promulgation policies to support difficulties for workers and businesses to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic and promptly organize the implementation to ensure a stable labour and employment situation, effectively maintain the goals of both epidemic prevention and control and economic development, proactively develop training programs to improve qualifications and skills for workers to support adaptation and suitability to changing conditions and circumstances during and after the COVID-19 epidemic. Strong export activity, continued FDI inflows, and stable inflation held Vietnam's GDP growth in 2021 likely to reach 6.7%. The above forecast was made by UOB Bank, headquartered in Singapore, in its economic growth report for the second quarter of 2021 and outlook from now to the end of the year. This forecast is higher than the official target of 6 to 6.5% of Vietnam. According to UOB, Vietnam's economy grew by 6.61% in the second quarter of 2021, accelerating from an adjusted rate of 4.65% in the first quarter of the year. In the first half of 2021, Vietnam's GDP grew by 5.64%, more than tripled from 1.82% in the first quarter of 2020. UOB analyzes a number of factors that already exist for a more optimistic outlook in the second half of 2021, including strong growth in production and trade, foreign direct investment inflows, and stable inflation. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President Emmanuel Macron, and Chinese President Xi Jinping held an online conference yesterday to discuss the relationship between the European Union, EU, and China and global issues together. The German government said in a statement that the parties talk about international trade, climate protection, biodiversity, vaccine supplies, and better ways to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, a statement from Beijing said that President Xi Jinping wanted China and Europe to expand cooperation to better respond to global problems. He also expressed that Europe can be more active in international affairs, the independent strategy and environment which is fair, transparent, and non-biased with Chinese companies. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected on July the 6th to announce the lifting of restrictive measures to prevent the COVID-19 epidemic with the policy of living with the pandemic from July the 19th. Prime Minister Johnson has insisted on a free day for people, which will remove the regulations on distance, work from home, mandatory wearing of mask, while pubs and other places will also not to have to ask customers to provide detailed information. Bars are also allowed to reopen. The UK government was originally scheduled to open on June the 21st, but postponed 4 weeks for people to be vaccinated in the context of the strong attack of the Delta variant. More than half of UK adults have now had both doses of coronavirus vaccine, official figures show. However, the government dropped the regulations and epidemic prevention will spark criticism from health experts in the context of daily new cases remains high. That's all for the news today. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.